All right, so when you think zombie, what comes to mind? Probably mindless, flesh-eating monsters, right? Well, the story we're getting into today, The Duct Tape Dead, completely flips that script. This is a story told from the zombie's point of view, where survival isn't about eating brains, it's about, well, just literally holding yourself together.
I mean, check out this opening line from our narrator, Nee. He says, "I guess I'm a zombie. I'm not entirely sure." How great is that? There's no monstrous roar, just this really dry, human uncertainty. See, he and his friends, they didn't get some kind of undead manual. They just woke up after a war, had to figure it all out, and have been trying to exist quietly ever since.
So let's really put this side by side. You know the movie Zombies, right? They're mindless, aggressive killing machines. But in this story, these guys are introspective. They're thinking. They don't want brains. Nay actually says the idea is gross. They spend their time actively avoiding humans. And they weren't made by some plague, it was chemical warfare. But maybe the biggest difference, the most important one, they're not immortal monsters. They are slowly and irreversibly falling apart.
So what is daily life like for them, really? Well, forget about some epic battle against humanity. It's way more mundane. It's this quiet, constant struggle against their own bodies.
Yeah, their biggest problem isn't finding food. It's just decaying. Think about it. For them, every little scratch, every broken bone is permanent. Their bodies can't heal. There are no living cells left to patch things up. Nee puts it perfectly. The gash is basically a tear in her skin that will forever be there. This constant, slow-motion disintegration, that's their real enemy. And to deal with this, they've had to get creative. They've built their own little community. And at the heart of it is this place called the Rot and Repair Shop. You gotta love that name, right? It's grim, it's funny, but it's also absolutely essential. It's basically an underground clinic run by former doctors and nurses who are, also zombies now, just patching up their decaying friends.
And what they use for medical supplies is just fascinating. Forget antiseptic and stitches. Their entire healthcare system is basically built from a trip to the hardware store. We're talking duct tape, steel rods, staple guns, super glue. The real hero here is duct tape. Why? Because unlike a regular bandage, it can hold a wound shut for months, sometimes even years. It just perfectly captures their whole resourceful, if kind of grim, approach to unlife.
And this is where the story just gets so good. Because on the one hand, their physical reality is just bleak. They're literally hiding in plain sight, mistaken for homeless folks, taping their own skin back on. But what's going on inside their heads? Well, their minds are as active as ever. While one of them might be groaning, it's not because he's hungry for brains. No, he's probably making a really solid point in a debate they've been having for weeks about who would win in a fight, a bear man or a shark man. It's this incredible contrast that makes them feel so human. But their quiet, weird little existence, it's under a new kind of threat. And it's not coming from zombie hunters with shotguns. It's coming from something a lot more ordinary, urban renewal. You see, for decades, their best defense, their best camouflage, has been society just not caring. They hide in plain sight among the city's homeless population. People see them shuffling, hear them groaning, and just assume it's because of drugs or mental illness. Society looks right through them, and in that ignorance, they've found a strange kind of safety. But that safety net is ripping. As people start moving back into the city's forgotten corners, they're starting to notice. Listen to this quote from a local resident named Stevie, who's trying to be woke about it all. "Heya boys, girls, and the non-binary baddies, it's Stevie here. Just a quick update around those that are maybe house-challenged. You can just hear that condescending, patronizing tone. They don't see people, they see a problem, a nuisance that needs to be gently cleaned up." And that really gets to the heart of the conflict here. What humans call gentrification or fixing up a neighborhood, the zombies just call an eviction notice. For humans, a new coffee shop is progress. For the zombies, it's a death sentence. Every renovated building means another hiding spot is gone, and that always leads to police sweeps and, violent displacement. They're being forced out of the only home they've known for 50 years. But honestly, even the threat of being discovered by humans, it pales in comparison to their ultimate existential fear. It's something they call the drift. So, what is the drift? It's the real death. It's not about getting shot in the head. It's the moment when whatever strange energy is holding their decaying bodies together just lets go. One minute, they're standing there. The next, they collapse into a pile of dust. All that's left is the one personal object they carried with them from their old life. It's a terrifying, completely uncertain end.
And to face this, to face just oblivion, they have a ritual. This is the first stanza of the song they sing for someone who's drifting. It's this haunting, mournful, groaning song, and it just shows this incredible sense of community they have, this solemn respect for one of their own who's finally leaving.
The ceremony itself is really profound. The whole community gathers in a circle around the one who's drifting, and they start their song. It's this powerful, shared groan that's almost like a harmony, a collective vibration of grief. And then the body jerks once or twice, and with a sound like crumpled paper, it just disintegrates into dust. Afterwards, they bury that one single object left behind. It's a funeral for people who can't have graves, a way to say goodbye when there's nothing else left to bury.
So all of this, the slow decay, the gentrification, the fear of the drift, it all builds to this final, desperate act of survival. It forces the community to accept a hard truth. Their time hiding in the city is over. Yep, the conflict with the humans finally blows up. There's a police raid meant to clear out the vagrants, and it turns violent. Zombies have no choice but to run, leaving everything behind. Their home, all their supplies at the rotten repair shop, even some of their own who are lost in the chaos. Suddenly, they're refugees, on the run all over again.
But they do have a plan, a kind of last-ditch hope for a real sanctuary, a place called Fallout Bay. This was a city that got so blasted by nukes during the war that it's completely uninhabitable for humans. And the irony is just, wow. A place that means death for the living might just be the only place where the undead can finally find some peace.
And that brings us right to the end, and the big question this story leaves us with. When you're literally rotting from the inside out, and the society around you just wants you gone, who are the real monsters? The story pulls back the rotting flesh to show us a thinking, feeling community that's just trying to exist. It makes us look at the people who can't see past the decay, and it really makes you wonder who we should actually be afraid of.